Allie, Charlie, just go ahead and start down.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to get settled into our sanctuary space this morning. My name is Allie Carville, and I would like to welcome you to the University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or Triple U. Thank you. I will be your service leader, along with Reverend Kathy Schmitz. We're a lay-led congregation, which means we have many speakers on many subjects who have a different way of knowing and understanding the beloved community in an interdependent web of existence, one of our UU values that I'm tripping over this morning. My pronouns are she, her. I am seated using a wheelchair. I have blonde hair, white skin, and I'm wearing a blue and black striped glittery top. If we could take a moment to make sure our cell phones and other devices are turned silent for our time together, please do so now. For everyone's awareness of our safety needs, our emergency exits are the main entrance that you came through, which is most accessible, down the hall to my right, your left, and also the sliding door behind you, which does have a bump for anyone to step or roll over. So, in case those are necessary, those are what you can use. Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to welcome our guests online in our online community. So if we could all turn and face the camera and wave and greet them. Let's now take a moment to greet our friends here in person. And as you're greeting each other, line up for committee moments. Thank you all. If you have a committee announcement, please come up to the microphone. Thank you.
Hi, it might rain today, starting at noon, which is when our drum circle was going to take place, outside. So there are a few here who would still like to do drum circle today, and maybe we can meet in the wiggle room or someplace kind of soundproof after the service today. So it's still on, so we'll just move it inside. Yes, we have a few extra drums if you didn't bring one and you want to come.
Save the date, April the 19th, which will be our annual springtime auction. In the past couple of years, we've raised $5,000 almost. Almost, each time almost. This time we're going to go over 5,000. And it happens because of the auction committee, which is all of you. Because all of you take part in it by donating things, by shopping at the auction, by helping with moving chairs and setting up tables and doing all that stuff. I will have for you, I imagine next week, a sheet that you can take with you to ask for donations from area businesses and things, places you go to where they know you are more apt to donate things. And it also has information about that their donation is tax deductible. I don't want to have clothing in different sizes or used yard sale type items. We're looking for new, shiny, clean things to have at the auction. I have to work with Sarah to work out some bugs in the auction email, but I will be doing that soon, and I'll let you know. But in the meantime, committee, be thinking of how you can help. Thanks.
Hello there, everybody. David McElroy. Tomorrow night is the men's support group here at the church, 6:30. It's a potluck, or bring your own. We'd like to, if you haven't been before, men and people who identify as men, if you haven't been before, talk to me about it. It's a great group, and sometimes we have 5 to 6, and sometimes we have 12 to 15. It just depends. So if you're interested, see me after church. Thank you.
Oops, excuse me. Good morning, Martha here on behalf of programs. The 31st, which is a Saturday in the morning, it might run till afternoon. We're still planning the agenda, but it's going to be a gathering to talk about our program planning for this year. So anyone that's interested, we're going to talk about ideas, logistics, a little bit about theory, how we make sure we're not doing all the same thing every Sunday. So if you have any interest in that at all, it's a good entry point to come find out and talk with us. So watch the notable news, but save the date, just like you would for a wedding. That's Saturday, the 31st, okay?
Hi, Larry here. We're going to be starting up the brick project again. If you want to get a brick for the pathway outside that goes to the RE building, they're approximately $79 a brick if we buy 5 or more. So we want to at least get 5. I'm going to be doing this announcement for about a month, and then we'll put the order in. If you want to design on it, it's about $10 more. So, and then there's tax and stuff like that. And but it will be in the notable news. You want to look at it? There'll be order forms in there, and I'll install them. Okay, whenever we get them. Hopefully we can get 10 or 20 of them. Okay, all right.
Women's group will have actually sisterhood, I gotta stop calling it women's group. We'll have our Valentine's Day gathering on the 6th of February, so I hope you guys can make it. We'll have some food and some sisterhood and a good time.
So today after the service, around noon in the library, we're going to have our next New Inquiring Minds session. This is our discussion group, and today we will be, Allison and John will be leading us in a discussion of religion and environmentalism. So it should be really interesting, and I hope you can join us.
Hi everyone, Anna Savage. I'm the chair of the RE committee. We're having our first meeting today after service. So whether or not you signed up to be on the committee or want that level of commitment, everyone is welcome to join the meeting if you want to participate and share your thoughts. Thanks. Thank you. It is going to be in the RE building. We're trying to start about noon.
I'm Ann Packham on behalf of the board. 2 things. Next Sunday before service, if you want to have coffee with the board, we will be here. Get a chance to ask the questions that you have on your mind or find out what it's like to be on the board or anything else related to the church. And then in 3 weeks from now is our quarterly meeting, and we will be discussing the future of leadership here as we're looking for people to fill various roles. So mark your calendars for that. That'll be in the notable news as well.
Morning, Laura Owen, Social Action Committee. Just want to thank everybody who's been donated to the Hope of Apopka, because we got a lot of stuff, and I appreciate that. So in the notable news, there's a QR code that if you're interested in continuing to support them, you don't want to drive out there, there's an Amazon wish list. So if you scan that, you can find items and donate. And then next Sunday is our Social Action Committee. So everybody's welcome. You don't have to feel committed to anything. Just show up and see what it's about. Thanks.
Good morning, Jill with Hospitality. Thank you to all the volunteers who have helped out in the kitchen this last month. We really appreciate you. And I am once again looking for baristas and volunteers for the kitchen. And this is mostly into the month of March. So I will have the sign-up sheets. Come see me after service.
Thank you all so much for keeping us all aware of everything happening around our fellowship. My apologies. I was trying to turn that off. It's okay. Only because I know that person. It's all good. Okay. I love you too. All right. To center ourselves into this space, my opening words are from Amy Mackenzie. Welcome to this common sacred space. Common because we are all welcome. Sacred because here we transform the ordinary and attend to the profound. We carry with us our regrets, doubts, fears, stories, laughter. May they inspire our worship. Above all, may we each meet what we need most to find on this day in this common sacred space. May it be so. And now for our opening hymn, number 361, Please Rise in Body or Spirit, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
This is a new hymn, so I'm going to ask Alicia to play it through for us once. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter it is to the song. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter your hearts, everyone.
All right. And now to center ourselves, we have the lighting of the chalice, and our chalice lighter is Chase, who is 15. His pronouns are he, him, and his joy is that he got a haircut. Oh yeah, looks great. There you go. Well done, Chase. And thank you, Tay. Please join us. Yeah. Please join us in reciting our covenant, followed by our affirmation. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And now our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. And thank you. Now is the time to share our joys and concerns. Please come to the center microphone or raise your hand and we'll bring the microphone to you. Please do remember we are live streaming, so share accordingly. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My wife and I have started doing this fun thing with the dog. We go to Baldwin Park, and our dog is quite gregarious, so he has a wonderful time greeting all the dogs. And maybe afterwards we go have a beverage.
It's not on the floor. Can I hold it?
Hello, I have both a joy and a concern. My joy is that I wrote a creative writing piece about talking here at Triple U, and it got accepted for publication, so it should be published in March. So I'm really excited about that, and thank you all for making that possible. It's in a book called An Anthology of Hope, which is stories about non-binary people coming out and the hope that it can bring in the world right now. My concern is that I have been having nonstop nightmares and stress dreams, and so just some nice thoughts to calm my nervous system at night.
Thank you. So I have a joy, concern, mix, whatever. I don't know if I said this during Joys and Concerns last time I was here, which was a month ago. About a month ago, I resigned from my job of, believe it or not, 15 years. I know, crazy. Been working for my parents since I was basically in diapers. And that was a very, very hard decision, but I felt right. And my last day is on Tuesday. So that's, I directly managed everyone on the team for a very, very, very long time. Lots of relationships, lots of memories, good and bad. But I'm overall, at this point, very, very thankful for everything that I've learned through that experience. And I'm excited and terrified about launching my own business, fully on my own, fully living that, solo life. Come this Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday I'll be fully on my own with Mulberry Media. It's my new business name, and I'll be doing communication support, digital media production, and consulting. So, yeah.
My concern is I went to the bathroom today and I broke the toilet seat. So I'm really sad about it. It's going to be so. That's
Okay, seriously. No, get back on track. Our joy is that we just got back from a Costa Rica vacation, which was pretty special because we spent almost half the vacation at a very remote, very small, very off-grid eco lodge. And after the first day of detox, it was like a absolutely wonderful experience. And I can tell you that what happens when at night, basically, they had very little electricity, and it was all solar and only during the day. And so at night, we had batteries and candles. And so what do you do at night when you have batteries and flashlights and candles and not much else? Is you talk to people. You talk to the people at the lodge, or you go to sleep, and both are excellent options, actually.
So my joy is that we came back from this trip, and Janet was great at planning everything. She's really enjoys the planning, fortunately, and we saw over 290 species of birds and 100 lifers, which is great. Thanks.
My joy is that yesterday I went to my grandpa and grandpa's house, and I had a really fun time with my cousin.
Hi, everybody. David McElroy. On February 4th, they are showing 7 short films at Aloma Cinema Grill for free. One of the films, actually 2 probably, but one I am in. I play an Alzheimer's patient, and I know you can't believe that. Anyway, and also we filmed our Christmas Carol, and the person that directed my film that's in the in the February 4th event, also directed Christmas Carol, and I think they're going to show like 5 minutes. The film version, yes, Chloe directed the stage version. The film version is going to be shown, I think, like 5, maybe 10 minutes. So it is a free event. It's at Aloma Cinema Grill. I'm going to put up flyers next week. All you have to do is just say you're coming, and they do have food there, so you can order food. So anyway, and I think Jill Metz said something about maybe doing a group, but I don't know. You need to check with me or her or something. Anyway, hope you can come.
Hi, Caitlin McElroy. I was just have a joy. I went to a meditation retreat. It was Peter's meditation retreat yesterday, and I meditated somehow. This busy-ass brain of mine meditated for 8 hours. Obviously, the longest meditation I've ever done. And he's a great leader. If you have an opportunity to go to his meditation retreats, you're awesome. And it was a lot of fun. So I'm feeling very zen right now. The first half, I was like in it. I was like, yeah. The second half, I was struggle busing a little bit, but that's kind of part of the process. And as Peter said, it's just like another opportunity to practice. So I've been getting into meditation the last couple of years just because I'm trying to make it better for just better in my brain for my mental health, and I can tell it's slowly working. So I don't know if you're struggling at all. We've got the meditation group. Peter does meditation on Wednesdays, and there's obviously like just self practice you can do. But I highly recommend it. It's really helped me.
First, I'm sharing a message from online. Evelyn just wants to send thoughts and prayers and whatever else we can do for the people in Minnesota. Just really not good up there right now. And I'm here on behalf of myself to say thank you to Joey and all her cohorts. Maybe I'm getting demented. What is that when you can't get the words right? But thank you for my surprise party Saturday night. That was a complete surprise. And thank you so much for kicking my butt and getting me out of my own way, because I've been having a hard couple of months, and the love and joy was wonderful. And now I've got a new theme song to sing every morning and to rejoice and come in, because that's usually how I feel. So thank you all that came and couldn't make it, and just thank you.
My joy is that yesterday I sold tomatoes.
Thank you. A couple of joys. Belated happy birthday, Martha. I'm sorry I couldn't make it, but oh, you're wonderful. Another one is, I don't know if you ever experienced meeting a person that talked with a certain amount of grace and kindness, and that kindness was sincere as well. So I am fortunate enough and blessed enough to have recently met a person, and we've become fast friends. He's here today, U.S. Army, Major Chaplain, Oscar Metzdorf. He's in the back there, just right. And probably he's been thinking about joining a denomination of a liberal persuasion. Wink, wink. So, he's on his best behavior. So welcome him in, and if anybody, I know Margie, I don't see her here today, but maybe Ann or Reverend Kathy can talk to him a little bit more about Unitarian Universalism. That'd be great. Thank you.
Hi, Chloe McElroy. I use she, her pronouns. I am wearing a very cute brown jumper, and I have orange hair. Alyssa and I actually just got back about a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, but I was greeter last week, so I didn't get to come out for Joys and Concerns because I was doing that. But we got back from visiting a good dear friend of ours in Washington. She lives kind of just outside of the Tacoma area, and her daughter just just turned 1. We also were there for the very last day was her birthday as well. And we've been trying to get up to Washington to see her for over a year now, like before she was pregnant. So we were really, really blessed that we got a chance to go and spend about a week out there with her. And it was just a beautiful time, just a different environment altogether, totally across the other side of the country. But, she is a first-time mom, and I personally think that, she could have a little help in her household more, but that's just my opinion. But just she is, she's doing great, but she's also struggling in a lot of ways, I think, mentally. So if just send her some good love that she's doing good. She's like doing good, and she's a good mom, and she's rocking it, because right now I think that she's a little hard on herself sometimes, and I think she could use some good vibes and good juju coming her way.
My concern, and I imagine many of you share it with me, is with our nation and the people of Greenland who are saying, I thought we were friends. And the people of Venezuela who don't know what's happening next. And it saddens me that our country is being aggressive towards people that looked up to us.
Thank you all for sharing your joys, concerns, and whatever is on your heart. And thank you to my mom, Jill, for being or Mike Pooper. I share one last stone for all that is on our hearts and a reminder that we are a beloved community. In a way to continue to live our principles, we share now a time for all ages with Reverend Kathy.
Good morning. Nice to be with you. I am Reverend Kathy Schmitz. I use she, her pronouns, and today I am wearing an army green shirt, I think. And I have short brown hair. So today I'd like to talk about hope. So first I have a question. Have you ever hoped for something? Did the thing you hoped for happen?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, right? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I think hope is kind of like these acorns. Now, here's the part you've all been waiting for, those of you sitting on the aisle and on either end of the back row. Derek, look for the acorns near you and pass those to the people in your row. Take one, yes, take one and pass it.
I have one. Whoops. That's
Pass all of them. They'll work it out. Now, 2 comments. Those of you responsible for children under the age of 3, these are choking hazards, so please be mindful of that. Also, in case you haven't looked closely, they are made of wood, so please don't try to plant it because you will be so disappointed. So, what do you think this acorn, we're going to imagine it's real, hopes to be someday? A tree. Any specific kind of tree? An acorn tree. Why don't we call them acorn trees, right? So, an oak tree, a mighty oak tree, right? So here's why acorns remind me of hope. And this little presentation was written by my colleague Martha Dallas. If I just drop this acorn on the floor and walk away, would it have any hope of becoming a mighty oak tree? No, not unless somebody sweeps it up and throws it outside, right? Okay, so what does it need? What's in the, yes? Thank you. Soil, sunshine, Water, air, yes? Air, yes. Thank you. Thank you, right? So it needs a lot of things. So like our acorn, our hopes need things to come to life. So first we start with our imagination and we imagine what we're hoping for. So you might want to close your eyes for a minute and imagine something you hope for. Your hopes are like acorns. They need a little work, care, action, help, sometimes a little luck to ever come to life. Like an acorn becomes a tree, what might your hopes need? Can you give your hopes those things? Now, here's another important question. Could you ever have an oak tree without first having an acorn? The answer is no. Okay, yeah, okay, good, okay. Right, the same way that every great thing anybody has ever done began with hope, with someone's imagination of what could be, plus the action to help it grow to life. That's what our hopes need. They need our imagination and our action and sometimes a little luck. That's the power of hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Kathy. In a way to live our principles, we share 40% of our offering this morning with a charitable organization selected by our Social Action Committee. Today we're sharing with the Center Orlando, which, there we go, whose mission is to promote and empower the LGBT plus community and its allies through advocacy, education, information, and support. Please remain seated as Gary Levins leads hymn number 16, "'Tis a Gift to be Simple." Our offering will now be received.
So we'll just have a short introduction. "'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be, and when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning we come round right."
Thank you, Gary. And thank you all. Now it's time for our children's recessional to their morning classes. Thank you. Let us now sing this song to let them go. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day.
We're going to begin with a responsive reading. It comes from Ma Teresa Castillo Garlardo, who I call Tet, is a colleague who, in the Philippines, fun fact, she was the first lesbian UU minister ordained in the Philippines. So I will read the words in plain text. I invite you to join Ally in reciting the words in italics. And I want to point out the irony that your part never changes. It's the same every time, even though this is a reading about change. It needs persistence.
Keep on keeping on.
We are here to derive meaning in our actions.
When I change, the world changes.
We are here to win back our power over our areas of powerlessness.
When I change, the world changes.
We are here to deepen our understanding of ourselves in order to strengthen self-discipline.
When I change, the world changes.
We are here to abolish prejudice with an appreciation for our diversity and difference.
When I change, the world changes.
We are here to feel our personal power and our capacity to affect the lives of other people.
When I change, the world changes.
We are here to become teachers to each other.
When I change, the world changes.
We are here to spend time away from the usual influences and relearn reality.
When I change, the world changes.
When God or love or life gives me the desire, I am also given the power and the means to achieve my goals.
When I change, the world changes.
I am here to see that my singular life is a gateway to countless possibilities.
When I change, the world changes.
Thank you. So this morning I'd like to invite you to a thought exercise. I'm good to go, right? Okay. It's an optional thought exercise for some of you, and you will know who you are. It might not be the right thing, and I respect that. But if you can, I invite you to imagine, if you can, that the year is 1855, 6 years before the start of the American Civil War. 1855, 6 years before the start of the American Civil War, and you are the only son of a North Carolina senator, his heir to the 4th largest plantation in the state of North Carolina, and all that it implies. You have been raised from birth to know your place and your future. Take a moment to imagine that. Imagine the mindset. To prepare you for that future, your parents have sent you to Princeton University. There you are harassed by Northern students who simply don't understand our Southern way of life. You keep to yourself. Your favorite classes are history, geography, and moral philosophy. Principally, you suppose, because, like your mother, you seem to have been born possessed of a great curiosity about different peoples and have tended to seek out books about the ways in which they have lived and conducted themselves with their different historical places. Now, this serves to make you curious when you are approached and befriended by several Quaker students who eventually invite you to travel with them to their home in Pennsylvania. You accept. And while the Quaker students have been direct in their invitation, they did not fully prepare you for what you were about to experience. It is, to say the least, a different world. It's a big city, a seaport. There's a mixing of the races with different attitudes and interactions, and there's an Underground Railroad rally. It is, to say, a different world. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? This is the story of Fletcher Randall, as told in the 1988 novella, A Different Kind of Christmas. It's written by Alex Haley, who you may know as the author of Roots. Fletcher struggles with his new awareness. His manners, he is from the South, keep him polite during his visit, but then he isolates and he studies for the next 6 months. He has little support, but his commitment and curiosity drive him on. As he integrates, the time comes when he steps forward to challenges he could not have imagined and costs that would have been inconceivable. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having your world view so transformed that you reject everything you thought you knew? Everything. That you not only give up your inheritance, your culture, and your family. You not just give them up, but you actively work against them. Can you imagine? I was gifted Haley's book decades ago, and while it's a work of fiction, it has stayed with me as an act of transformation that is, in fact, hard for me to imagine. Its description was, for me, visceral. I went from a rather unsympathetic northerner thinking, the heck is wrong with those people who thought that it was okay to own other people? It does seem reasonable. To, oh my gosh, what a huge life-changing impact it can have to allow yourself to see the world in new ways. To see the world in new ways. So I came to understand in a new way what I thought was easy, the challenge that was being presented to some people. Reasonable as it is. Although the protagonist is 19 years old when the story starts, it's not a coming-of-age story, because those usually take place within your own culture. This is a story about transformation, a transformation that took him out of his culture, his context, his place of comfort, out of everything he knew. He saw the world beyond the plantation, beyond the enslaved labor camp on which he was raised. He saw people, all people, in a whole new light. Few of us will undergo a transformation of this magnitude, though some of us will. And for reasons I don't entirely understand, not everyone who has that same exposure, that same experience, that same invitation to change will have the same sort of transformation. Why? Why him? Not all transformations are easy to see or to understand. Not all are so morally laden. I think of a friend of mine who struggled with addiction to alcohol. Once, he told me the story of the day he became sober after many, many attempts. I asked him, why then? Why that particular time? And he couldn't say. We don't always know when or how or where or why, or even if we may be transformed. So today I'd like to consider transformation, what we think we know about it, and perhaps what we don't know about it. It is, after all, one of our Unitarian Universalist values. Now I suspect, forgot to put it on a slide, many of you have seen this graphic or one like it that shows our 6 Unitarian Universalist values with love at the center. Sometimes it's imagined as a flower. This is what I call the atom version. There's lots of others. And in the center is love, but just in case you can't see them all, around it are justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. It's part of the revised Article 2 of our Unitarian Universalist Association bylaws. Don't go to sleep yet. It's part of the covenant we have among our conversations, the over 1,000 congregations that make up our association of congregations. Now, there's some history here, and I suspect some of you know it and some of you do not, so let me explain briefly. Article 2 is a very special part of our Unitarian Universalist bylaws. While much of the bylaws lay out our governance, our how, Article 2 is about our why, our reason for being, our agreements, and our promises to one another. For those of you who've been around a minute, Article 2 is where our principles and sources were previously found. The principles and sources have been removed, dare I say, replaced with updated and transformed language. If those of you who are not familiar with the principles and sources, you can find them if you're interested by opening hymnal, finding hymn 1, and turning back a page. But I have a confession. I was on an extended sabbatical during the time leading up to the 2024 change of Article 2, and I wasn't part of the process. I accepted it, but I wasn't sure I liked it. After all, I had been preaching on the 7 principles and using the 6 sources for decades. I could recite all the principles by heart. Now I had to learn a new thing. I suspect some of you may be in that camp, and others probably have no idea what I'm talking about, and others are more flexible and have moved on already. But for me, it took a few reminders and some time to come around. First, I was reminded that the principles and sources, even though they weren't in the bylaws anymore, they hadn't disappeared. They were still mine to use as I wish. Second, I was reminded that ours is a living tradition, and that means change. Liberal religious traditions are in part defined by their willingness to adapt. And I was also reminded that the bylaws themselves specifically state that if there had been no review of Article 2 in 15 years, then the UUA board must appoint a commission to study Article 2 and recommend any appropriate revisions. The bylaws require it. So not only does our liberal religious tradition grow and change, we have built that into our very structures. And so with these reminders in hand, I made a decision to become one with the new values. And I made a commitment to myself to explore them in 2026. And so I'm going to do about one a month for the next 6 months, which just happens to be about how often I visit with you. So you get to go on this journey with me. And I've decided to start with transformation, which Article 2 describes like this. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. Now, a side note about the use of language. The old Article 2 had one use of the word transformation. It was in the section we called the sources, and there was a reference to the transforming power of love. We haven't lost that. We've moved it to the center. In Article 2, the new version, the word transforming happens 3 times. There are 5 sections, the second of which is values and covenant, which is what I just read to you. The word transformation appears in the first section titled Purposes. Purposes of the Unitarian Universalist Association. After listing things like supporting congregations and leaders and creating new ones, the section ends with these words. The Unitarian Universalist Association will actively engage its members in the transformation of the world through liberating love. That is one of the purposes of our association, the transformation of the world through liberating love. And the word transformation also appears in the third section, which is inspiration. This is what replaced the previous section on sources. It begins, direct experiences of transcending mystery and wonder are the primary source of Unitarian Universalist inspiration. These experiences open our hearts, renew our spirits, and transform our lives. Direct experiences. Direct experiences transform us. Now, I know as people of reason, we like to believe that it is data that changes our minds. And that too is called out later in that section. as secular, sacred, and scientific understandings. But I think it's more complicated than that. A truthful telling is that it is often our direct experiences that impel our actual transformation. I admit I was curious about this increase in the use of the word transformation and wondered if it was something specific to our movement. So I popped the word into one of those online tools that graphs word usage over time. Very fun if you haven't tried them. It turns out that the word transformation is used significantly more now than in 1985, 40 years ago when the previous Article 2 was drafted. So is this an example of us adapting to the world in which we find ourselves? Or is it because all around us, the rapid pace of change in our world has become impossible to ignore? So this morning, again, our working definition of the UU value of transformation is we adapt to a changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritage, never complete, never perfect. Now, some might express concern that adapting to a changing world implies that our values are not grounded, that they are transient. But let's consider some values. Let's consider the commandment value to love your neighbor. This is something that comes to us from the Hebrew and Christian scriptures. In the book of Leviticus, your neighbor is your fellow Israelite. But then it expands and includes the stranger living among you. We hear a lot of references about that today, especially with the uptick in ice activity, which we are seeing now here in Central Florida. How do we treat the stranger among us? Then later, Jesus expands that value. You are also to love your enemy. There's the challenge. There's the challenge. The command is to love your neighbor. That did not change. However, as the world expanded, as the understanding of exactly who is a neighbor did change. In our hyper-connected world, I would assert that our understanding of who our neighbor is must continue to change. Another example, this one tied a little more closely to our tradition. So the Unitarian Universalist Association, or UUA, is the merger of two traditions, the Unitarians and the Universalists. Both considered themselves liberal Christian traditions. They promoted freedom, tolerance, reason, and love. However, as time went on, the merged tradition became something more than Christian. The openness treasured by our spiritual ancestors initially allowed them to welcome other Christians. That is, after all, who they had the most exposure to. But as travel and communication expanded, revealing more opportunities for insight and understanding, both from other traditions and from science, it made more and more sense to expand the welcome. In doing so, our religious tradition has been transformed, growing out of, but not restricted to Christianity. Our values have not changed. How they are expressed and how we are inspired has. In some cases, however, values do change. That's what happened to Randall Fletcher when his Quaker classmates invited him to expand his worldview. My guess is that some of us gathered here this morning have encountered values-changing transformation. Interestingly, the people sitting next to those folks may not have any idea of the journey they have been on, the struggles they have endured, the losses they have experienced. For this, if for no other reason, we should be kind to one another. For some of us, and I put myself in this category, we have had primarily encounters that I call values deepening transformations. I can't truly say that there are things that I strongly believe now that are in stark contrast to something I was raised to believe. I have deeper and fuller understanding, yes, but while my choices sometimes bewilder my family members, it's a matter of degree, not direction. So how about you? Where do you find yourself? Have you encountered values changing transformation? Have you primarily encountered values deepening transformation? Maybe some of each? Maybe a little journaling later in the week will help you sort that out? Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform. Our society and our traditions and our institutions, they all change. They evolve and transform. And we, as individuals, change. So I invite you to consider what change and transformation has been like in your life. Were you, like Fletcher, born open to grace, new insights, expanded horizons? Or did you learn or develop that openness? Are you still working on that? Of the things that you say you believe, is there anything you sometimes struggle with? All the time. Is finding worth and dignity in some people a challenge? Thank you for being honest. Remember, Fletcher thought of himself as a good person. Is justice, equity, and compassion a challenge in your relationships, in real life, when it's not just a nice social concept? What about acceptance and encouragement of one another? Can you really do it? Even here, in this fellowship? Even with those people who are kind of out there? Or those other people who are kind of rigid? Can you continue to open to new learning, or have you learned it all? See me after if you have. When you encounter a new idea, are you willing to wrestle with it? Are you willing to take responsibility for its implications? That's what happened to Fletcher. He couldn't live with what he now knew. To have integrity, he had to bring his life back into alignment. Are you in alignment with your values, your stated beliefs, your understanding of the world? Think about your transformations. Would you have done it if someone had told you up front that everything would be different? I mean, on the other side, we're usually glad to be where we are. But would I really willingly agree to an experience that I knew in advance would give me a whole new understanding and upend my future as I understand it and estrange me from my family and everything I know? If Fletcher had known in advance and been told the full measure of the break he would need to make with his family and his culture, I wonder if he would have even spoken to the Quakers, let alone traveled to Philadelphia with them. Theoretically, we can back off and choose not to be transformed, and I can understand why people might choose to do that. Because if we transform, we have to act. Because can we really unknow the thing we now know? And if we know, we will have to act according to our new beliefs to bring our values to life as action in the world. Our society and our traditions and our institutions, they all change, and we as individuals change. What of our congregations? What about this fellowship? In what ways is this a place of transformation? I invite you to consider 3 features that I think might help a congregation be transformative, or even more transformative. First, it seems to me that a transformative congregation will cultivate openness, a hallmark of liberal religion. So in what ways do you formally or informally create space for the exploration of new ideas? How are the questions, insights, and gifts of those who are new among you received? Second, a transformative congregation would create opportunities through classes and covenant groups and outings and more. What offerings do you create for members and friends, new and old, to continue to explore? What new challenges do you intentionally engage? And finally, a transformative congregation creates an environment that sustains transformation. How is someone who's been brave enough to engage change and transformation, how do they find support? Are they appreciated for the struggle they've been through? Or are they somehow inadvertently shamed for who they used to be? A transformative congregation accepts you with all your baggage, and yet it doesn't expect you to carry that baggage for 20 years. You may arrive with all sorts of woundedness, but you are here to heal and to move beyond that. You are here to discover what is possible for you. So I would hope that our congregations would all strive to be crucibles of transformation, cultivating openness, creating opportunities, and sustaining transformation. Transformation means to take on new form, new understandings of ourselves, our world, and our place in the world. This is deeply spiritual work. As a liberal religious tradition, Unitarian Universalism is well suited to provide the preparation, opportunity, and support for transformation. I continue to have many questions about the transformation process, but I am convinced that it is a spiritual process that is critical to human development. As such, it is one I would commend to everyone as individuals. It is one I would commend to this community so that it will continue to truly be a congregation that changes lives and transforms the world. I close my remarks with a piece from my colleague, the Reverend Eric Walker Wilstrom, titled, "If You Are Who You Were, We Have Failed." If you are who you were, and the person sitting next to you is who they were, if none of us have changed since the day that we walked in here, we have failed. The purpose of this community, of any church, temple, zendo, or mosque, is to help people grow. We do this through encounters with the unknown, in ourselves, in one another, in the other, whoever that might be for us, however hard that might be for us, because these encounters have many gifts to offer. So, may you go forth from here this morning, not who you were, but who you could be. So may we all. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Kathy, for your words this morning. And now may we extinguish our chalice for our time together with these words printed above. May you extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now we join in closing hymn number 6, Just As Long As I Have Breath, in your gray hymnal or above.
Please rise and bow to your spirit.
Thank you.
We'll have a short intro here. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though within I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, Tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as the vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
Thank you, Janet and Alicia. My closing words this morning are from Michelle Collins. Changes abound. May we each find the balance point we need as we move through our ever-changing world. The balance between the old and the new, between the known and the unknown, between the familiar and the perhaps bold and risky possibilities that may be there waiting. May it be so. And now for our postlude by Alicia Tran. Thank you, Alicia. Please join us for coffee after the service. Thank you.